The House voting in favor of removing Democrat Minnesota Congresswoman Ilhan Omar from the Foreign Affairs Committee. The squad not happy.
This is about targeting women of color in the United States of America. Don't tell me, because I didn't get a single apology.
Time has expired.
When my life was threatened.
The gentlewoman's time has expired.
That our country is failing you today through this chamber. You belong
the gentlewoman is no longer.
Republicans are waging a blatantly Islamophobic and racist attack on Congresswoman Omar.
But to House Speaker Kevin McCarthy, the removal, quite simple.
When it comes to Congresswoman Omar, based upon what she had said, the anti-Semitic comments, it's all about the Benjamins. The military in America is equal to Hamas and the Taliban. On 9/11, something happened that day. Even the former Democratic chair of the committee believed her comments were wrong. When a resolution was brought up to deal with this last time, she never apologized. They changed the resolution to say anti-Semitism is wrong. We're not removing her from other committees. We just do not believe when it comes to foreign affairs, especially the responsibility of that position around the world with the comments that you make. She shouldn't serve there.
Here now, Shannon Bream, Fox News Sunday host. Shannon, may I add also, here is what Ilhan Omar said on Twitter in 2012. Israel has hypnotized the world. May Allah awaken the people and help them see the evil doings of Israel. Shannon Bream, what do you say?
A lot of tension here on Capitol Hill today. Now, what Democrat leaders will say is she has acknowledged they called her out. Those were, quote, mistakes that she made. She's apologized for them, and she made things right. So that is their part of the argument. She is much more aware now of what she was saying, and she's tried to make up for saying those things. Republicans today, though, are saying you guys actually set the framework in place for removing people who are members of the minority party from the committees that they're on, and we warned you when you did it. It is probably going to come back to get some of your members at some point. So a complete impasse on this today. It's a completely partisan issue, how you view it. You know, the top Democrat now in the House, Hakeem Jeffries, the minority leader there, has said it's not a double standard. He called it a quadruple standard. But you heard the case there that the speaker made, and nobody's going to budge on either side on how they feel about this.
So first, I want to point out the obvious. We all color-coded tonight to wear pink together, so just duly noted.
Nicely done.
Yes, nicely done. But have Democrats actually pointed out the difference for Ilhan Omar, Adam Schiff, or Eric Swalwell? Why are they different than when Democrats took off Marjorie Taylor Greene and Paul Gosar from every single committee? Not just one committee. They couldn't serve on one committee, and they also took off Jim Jordan and Jim Banks off the January 6th committee. Have they been able to explain the difference in why it's wrong now, but it was right then?
They're saying all of this is political payback. They say it's about nothing more than that it's strictly about Republicans have a narrow majority so that they can actually make the rules and make these calls now. You know, they'll say all kinds of things. If you want to break down the January 6th committee, they'll say, you know, we would have allowed them to have other Republicans on. And there were other Republicans on that committee, not ones that would be there defending President Trump or his interests. But if you go one by one through each of these examples, they say that there are significant differences and that the people who made mistakes in the past, Democrats have apologized. They say Republicans never did. The ones that got kicked off their committees, there were some apologies. I can't speak to every case, but it just feels purely partisan. It's going to be a partisan showdown here. And, you know, in not only the comments that the speaker has made about Congresswoman Omar, but in talking about the issues with the Intel Committee, you know, he's talked about the fact that he was briefed by the FBI about concerns that they had about some of these members, I think specifically Congressman Swalwell. So he's saying it's a much bigger problem, but they're not going to stop fighting about it on the Hill. I'm sure people are going to fundraise off of it and fill up our inboxes with emails about it. It'll continue.
A little bit of fighting inside the Republican Party. Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell pulling fellow Republican Senator Rick Scott off the Commerce Committee. I can see from the outside, not even living in D.C., Shannon, what's going on here.
Yeah, listen, Mitch McConnell is powerful. He is somebody with a long memory. And I think these members, because it was Senator Mike Lee too, bounced off the Commerce Committee, I think they had to know what was coming. I mean, they made an open run at the minority leader and trying to take over that top GOP position. That vote ended up being 37-10. It wasn't close. But, I don't think that they're surprised it happened. They're not happy it happened. And their defenders will say, as Rick Scott said about himself, the senator, I probably have owned a bigger business and run a bigger business than anybody else who would serve on commerce. I get this stuff. Mike Lee's backers say he was one of the most prolific GOP members of the Commerce Committee, actually putting together amendments and other measures. So they've got their defenders. But I think at the end of the day, they also acknowledge Mitch McConnell's running the show for Republicans there in the Senate, and it's his call.
All right, Shannon, pull out your crystal ball. The State of the Union's a week away. What do we expect?
I think that the president is going to focus on his successes. All this brand new Fox News polling that we have out shows that on the economy, inflation, the border, everything that we asked just about in the survey, he's upside down. The American people are not happy with how he is doing on all of these different topics. The White House says, though, they're ignoring all of the things he did get done. So I think you're going to hear a roundup over the 2 years of the things that he has gotten across the finish line. They're going to focus on the positive and also point to what they say are these green shoots of improvements in economic activity, which you guys specialize in analyzing here on FBN. And congrats on the new show.
Thank you, Shannon. Thanks for that insight, too. Appreciate it.